Welcome back, guys, to the Mindcrack server. And today, before we start our episode, we have some unfortunate news. Off camera, in between last episode, actually it was before last episode, but I never really showed him. I went and tamed another cat, and I named him Geezer to go with Goober. So Goober and Geezer were the best of friends. He was one of the black cats, so the Siamese and the black cat, man, they were best friends. Best friends forever, and they hung out together in their little corner over there. There's even a sign with his name on it for where he sat. And unfortunately, I was doing some mining because I was running out of redstone with all the redstone stuff I'm making, all the pistons and everything. And they both teleported down to me while I was mining stuff down in the mines, and Geezer, well, he fell in some lava and he died. So today we're gonna say goodbye to Geezer. So long, old chum. Here lies Geezer. Killed by being derpy. There we go. Second cat down. Oh, we have some friends in between us and our objective. Alright, we're gonna go back to the temporary house. And actually, it's no longer the temporary house. I've completely moved out of it, except for the animal pens. Look at all this craziness here. I'm gonna spend some time repairing this. Hey-oh! Hey-oh! Man, if I can ever manage to hit a leaping spider first in multiplayer, that'll be awesome. I hope that gets fixed. It's easy enough to do in single player. Look at all these stupid holes. Okay, so let's head back over now that we've laid Geezer to rest. I think I may have already gotten rid of his sign. I don't remember exactly. That's a cave. I'll leave... Whoops. Leave that. Let's head back over to what used to be the temporary house and is no longer. Oh, 3 Endermen out at night. No wonder everything's full of holes over here. These jerks. Oh! What the hell hit me? Oh. Come get some, Skelly! Yeah, yeah. Okay. Dude! Oh, I'm so tempted to just spend some time murdering these guys, but I got stuff to do. And I don't come over here very often, only to bury my cats. Alright, anyway, that's good enough. Whatever. Let's get going as I continue to fill holes. Heading back through here, back to the well-lit tree farms. So I did a little bit of changes. Besides moving all my inventory out of the temporary house, I did a few changes which will become readily apparent, and we can actually get rid of this sign. This is no longer my house. My spawn is still actually set in here, but nothing else is in here except for the animals. So we're gonna call this temporary animal pens, because while this will probably become my permanent sheep pen, I do plan to move the other animals out of here. Oh, Goober! I bet you're sad, aren't you, Goober? Whoops, I meant to shift, not... Yeah, you're sad, I know. Your friend Geezer is gone. Let's take up his sign. So this is what it looks like now. I knocked out this wall with all the boxes. Haven't increased the number of sheep. So eventually I'm going to create a larger pen for my pigs and my cows, and probably one for the chickens as well. With this style of enclosure with the water on the edges, because it works a lot better. I think they're fixing the mobs glitching through walls in the next patch, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that. But one way or the other, I do want more space, because it's hard to get up to a high number of pigs and cows in here, because there's just not enough room. So I will eventually move these guys out of here, and I will probably expand this all the way around here to square it out. Maybe not this corner who knows. This farm stuff is eventually going to be taken out as well when I make that stuff in the lens. We've got some just general purpose boxes in here. I keep my axes down here because this is where all the trees are. Some furnaces for random stuff. Goober's still down here. I may eventually try to move him up to the lens, but with their like shenanigan teleportation nonsense, teleporting to you out of nowhere, which is what killed Geezer, I don't know what the point would be. And there's still one boat left. I think all the others have broken. So let's go ahead and get up to the lens. Hey-o. And here we are. The first thing you may notice is that the little staging area I originally built, the first thing I did at the top of this ladder, it's gone. It was up there at this level. And I demolished it because there's no point for it now that all the inventory has been added to the storage lens, or storage shutter. But we still have this for the log outavator until that gets broken. When that breaks in the next patch, I'm going to have to make some sort of island for enderballing up, because you can't make it from the top of this hill to this level, but you probably could if you had an intermediate island to so you could do it in 2 hops. So I've done a little bit of work on the farm, and that's what we're going to focus on today, finishing this off, at least the functionality part. We're going to hook up the lights to sensors. We're going to add the water track here to make everything collect in one spot. We're going to add the circuitry that will pull the pistons down for the right amount of time for everything to get down to the bottom. And actually in 1.3, when I can silk touch some ice blocks, I may put ice blocks under... I guess I can't do it here, but I could do it here to make things collect faster, a little bit anyway. I obviously can't grow crops on ice blocks. Okay, so here is the storage shutter with all the storage in it, and people have asked a few times for me to go through my boxes and how they're organized. People want to see how they're organized and maybe use the same system. And I've been waiting until we get up here to do that, just because I knew I would be overhauling the storage organization system. I added a couple blocks here. This is the north. This faces north towards the spawn village, just so I could help orient myself in here until we get to 1.3 and get the different colored half slabs and stairs, and we can detail this out in darker wood. Okay, so inventory. I'm gonna go through my inventory real quick. Okay, so starting on this side, on the northeast quadrant, we've got tools, weapons, and armor all on top of each other. And then I added an ammo chest as well, because my weapon storage sometimes gets kind of full, although it's probably not necessary. But when I hook up that skeleton spawner, I'm going to start having a lot of arrows, so I thought I might need a full box to hold them in. I also added a lighting box for torches, jack-o'-lanterns, glowstone, and redstone lamps. Some of my boxes just started getting full, and I had to move certain things out, and I had to create new categories. This is a system that has sort of just evolved. As a box becomes full, I'll add a new category to take stuff out of it. So again, tools, weapons, armor, lighting, ammo, buckets. I have a ton of buckets, especially since the Etho prank. So I thought I needed a whole box for that. Then here we've got crafted redstone and rails. So crafted is anything you make in the crafting box that doesn't fit in one of the other boxes. For instance, the lighting. You make torches in a crafting box, but we already have a lighting box, so no jack-o'-lanterns or redstone lamps in here. And I also have a redstone and rails box because I had a lot of rails from exploring mine shafts. So, and then redstone, anything made with redstone, repeaters, pistons, and also levers and buttons. and you know, just general stuff. Okay, and then wood, planks, and lumber. So this is a little bit, I had to make the terms as concise as possible. So wood doesn't actually contain wood as it's labeled in game. The lumber box contains all the wood logs. I've been stockpiling the spruce or pine tree logs, which is these two rows right here, because they're the darker ones. And I said when I originally started the lens, I wanted to use those for a good part of the flooring to go with the lighter sandstone, and I've been waiting on 1.3 to be able to remake a lot of this. And that might give us an opportunity to add some differentiation in here. So I may have some subtle cues with when I start adding those as to what's north and what's not, without having to do this or colored wool or something like that. And then we get a full box for planks, and then everything else you make out of wood is right there. Alright, so on the other side, we've got drops, food, and plants. Drops are anything that drops from an animal, as well as flint that drops when you dig gravel. So anything that drops when you kill something. Then underneath that is food, anything you can eat. Underneath that is all the plants, vines, wheat, seeds, different saplings, flowers, mushrooms, anything you can't directly eat, basically. Then we've got coal, ore, and miscellaneous. I have so much coal, it's ridiculous. This is only this full because I filled every furnace I have full of coal, like a full stack. Then we've got ore, and man, I really go through tons of iron with all the pistons I make and all the tools I run through and all that stuff. And I'm waiting on 1.3 to enchant more diamond tools. So I'm sort of stockpiling them for now. Lots of lapis lazuli. I usually wait till I have like 2 or 3 stacks of this stuff to smelt anything. Then we've got miscellaneous. I'm temporarily I'm temporarily storing potions and alchemy stuff in here until I get the alchemy levels set up better. But stuff that doesn't fit in any good category, like saddles and records and endstone, goes in there. Then over here we've got leaves, snow, and silk touch blocks. Anything you pick up with silk touch. And then netherrack, soul sand, and nether brick. So stuff that's from the nether. Okay. Then to the right of the sort of the general tool section is the block section. We've got gravel, dirt, and dirt. I got 2 boxes for dirt. Sometimes I end up with a lot of it, so I like to have an overflow chest. And next to that we got sand, sandstone, and I'm actually, this looks like a lot, but I'm running low. I need to start farming it soon. We're going to use a pretty good amount today. And glass. So we've got sand and gravel next to each other because they're the 2 blocks affected by gravity. I like to associate them. Then we've also got sand, gravel, and dirt all close to each other because they're sort of different soil types. I like to have those close to each other. And then sand, sandstone, and glass. These 2 are both made with sand, so I like to keep those grouped together. And then here we've got 3 boxes of stone because stone is just so abundant. Here's an overflow chest for stone, and then this box holds all the different types of stone: smooth stone, stone bricks, stone stairs, cobblestone slabs, mossy stone, stone slabs, all that stuff. And my mines is really where I keep the bulk of my stone. This is just sort of enough to work with. And then here we've got clay and bricks, and I'm not really very close to a swamp, which I think is where you get a lot of clay. I think that's the biome with the most clay. So I don't really have a lot, but I just have the boxes for when I eventually may want it and start stockpiling it. And then obsidian. Okay. And then the last quadrant is mostly the dye, wool, and ender pearls. So I've got a full double chest here for dye. Then we've got 5 boxes for wool. These 3 are all empty right now, but because sometimes I need a lot of it for certain things, you know. certain pranky stuff. I have extra boxes for that, and I actually may just end up putting my wool storage down with the sheep instead of up here. It's kind of, I mean, I didn't build this place to be efficient, let's be honest. I built it because it was a cool idea, knowing it would sometimes be a pain in the butt to get back up here to get supplies and then go back down. But I may move all of my wool storage down to where the sheep pens are, because there's no other time when I need dye except for to dye sheep or wool. So if I find that I have other categories of things I need to store, I may move this stuff down there. And then here we've just got zillions and zillions of ender pearls. I guess I only have 2 double boxes so far, but I tend to collect more than I use, because anytime I go enchant an item, I come back with an inventory full of this stuff and just dump it in there. Okay, so we've done that. I can drop the flower that I didn't use for the grave. How did I? Oh, this was the temporary. Wait, how did I end up with an extra sign? I know I put a sign on the grave. I know I picked up the sign from the temporary house and I wrote on there animals, temporary animal pen or something. Look at that. I can't see if there's a sign on there from here, but I know there is. You can't see a sign from this distance either. That's interesting. I've never noticed that before. Okay, so anyway, so today we're going to work on the farm. So I'm going to get some inventory stuff together that I need, and then we'll head over there. Okay, here we go. So I did a little bit of work off camera with the redstone lamps, and you can see they're not the same. That's because there's 2 different versions here. One sticks up a little bit above here, and one is totally flat. When you go down to the level of the wheat, these torches are 3 blocks above the wheat, and so are these. So they're staggered the same way that the fields are staggered. These ones are totally flat. Oh god. Oh wow. That scared the hell out of me. Oh. What was I saying? Wow. Okay, let me hold shift. So these are totally flat. So that poses one little problem. If I extend it all the way to here, you can't get in here because this is a half slab and 2 blocks high, etc. So that's something I'll have to work around if I go with this idea. Another thing I did is I added sand blocks here instead of the pistons with the sandstone block. The reason I did that is because the piston plunger, which was exposed here, there was some wheat that was getting caught inside there that wasn't getting harvested. So it was just a way of troubleshooting a problem. I did it this way for a reason, and it is because, let's head over, oh shoot, I don't have that elevated. Actually, I could probably look at it from up here. Let's look at it. Let's do that. Let's see if I can get up there. Hey-o, come on, hit it. Yeah, first try. All right, look at that. Okay, so I took all this time figuring out how the water needs to separate and making it so that it was visible by putting gaps in between the different stages where it gets separated like that. And if we head over here, I guess this is probably the best place to observe it from. Okay, so if we have the lamps 3 blocks above the wheat, and then if we eventually cover over this, because there's going to be a bunch of exposed wiring I'm going to want to cover, and this whole thing needs to be enclosed to block out the environmental skylight, the sunlight, so that when we turn the lamps off it gets totally dark in here and all the wheat pops off. So I'm going to need something above this layer too, and that's going to mean that all of this right here is going to be, you won't be able to see it, which sort of, it goes against the whole idea of making it the way I made it so you could see it split the way it does. So that's why I did it this way on this side, and I think that's the way I'm going to go with, so that it's easier to cover up without without covering up the display of how it splits. Okay, so I wanted to illustrate sort of my reasoning behind some of the decisions I've made. And oh, yep, why even bother having a ladder there if you're just going to jump off? Originally, I wanted to automate the whole thing so that you hit a button and the lamps will turn off long enough for the wheat to pop off, and then the water will flow long enough for all of the wheat to track down to where it's going to collect. Problem with that is I did some testing, and it seems like there's some sort of random timer for when the wheat will pop off after you turn the lights off. So at least the lights turning off part won't be automated. We're going to have to do that manually, and then the part with the water flowing for the correct amount of time to get everything down to the bottom, that part we can automate. But before we can do that, we need to set up the rest of the collection system. Right now, all this wheat would just fall off the edge, or it would hit this little stopgap thingy I made. We don't want that though. We want to... Oh! Vertigo! We want it auto collect, so we're going to build a little system so that it'll all collect in one spot. Well, my internet just crapped out, and I ended up falling off a ledge I was shifting on and got most of my items back. I did lose my arrows and my shovel that was almost totally gone, so I guess that's not too big of a deal. My internet has been really unstable lately. I've been getting disconnected from the internet maybe once every hour or something silly like that. I ran out of leaves. Need some more of these. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh, that's right. We were making the little channel for the leaves, and we gotta. I've done most of the middle part. Okay, so now I just need to extend this. Let's go ahead and just put. Actually, I'm probably too close. So we're going to extend this all the way down there until we get basically to the end. And I'm eventually going to need some stairs, I guess, to get down to this area. Maybe stairs down and stairs up. I'm not really sure. I made that initial staircase around the outside to get between the different levels here, but I had no idea what the different sort of entrances and exits and stuff I would need for the different you know, exterior parts of the lens. I didn't know what I would need for that, so I'll just figure it out as we go along. Oh, come on. Just a few more, and then we need railings. And we're actually going to make these walls all the way up, just to make sure that nothing falls on these levels right here. So I guess one thing I can talk about while doing this, I've been playing a lot of Project Zomboid, or actually I've been trying to. I think I first saw it on Pause's channel. And I've thought about making videos out of it because it is a fun game. The only problem is it is really buggy and unstable right now. And there's already been... people have already made videos for it. So the only way I could really... the only way I'd really want to make videos for it is if I became really good at the game and I could sort of show you some of the endgame type stuff that happens. And I could... since I've already been playing it, I can't really do a blind playthrough type thing. And for that type of game, I think it's better anyway to show you playing the game, you know, with knowledge of the game and how to really get the most out of it. It is in alpha. You can go to projectzomboid.com if you wanna, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you wanna learn about it. it's in alpha, so a lot of the features that are planned aren't in the story mode, quote unquote, doesn't even work in the current version. Their webpage doesn't even have the current version on the front, so you have to be a little persistent in trying to find it. I think the longest I've survived is maybe 3 weeks or so. At a certain way into the game, the water shuts off. I think it's a little bit randomized, but it's about 5 days into the game. The water shuts off. And then maybe 10 days or 2 weeks or so in, the power grid shuts off. So you can't use your oven to cook stuff. Street lights don't work anymore, that kind of thing. And the one thing you need for long-term survival, more than anything, is water. So the early part of the game, you're mostly stockpiling water and getting an early sort of barricaded house set up, which that part doesn't actually take that long. A lot of it is looking for water and killing random zombies. Let's see, I'm out again. But we can go ahead and test that this works right. It should. I don't know why it wouldn't. Alright, let's put some torches on the wall. Get these torches out of here. Come on, okay, give me those. And then, what did I... Yeah, okay, here we go. And nothing should be flowing down from this back corner. It may take a while, if anything does pop off down into here to get going, but most of it should be coming from these blocks forward. Everything gets pushed off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the little trophy thing is done. I'm gonna work on the lamps for a little bit. Apparently I'm getting some monster spawnage. Where was that thing I was... Oh yeah, I wanted to see... Ooh, this is gonna be iffy. Let's get underneath it. Yep. Eyeballs! Something like that, I think, would work. Here we go. No! Damn it, I missed! Gah! Whoops. Alright, well, what I was going to show this thing under here. But next thing we're going to do is work on the lamps. Where's my ladder? Okay, you can see it from here. I don't have any stairs or anything down there yet. Next thing we want to do is work on the lamps to get that wired up. And one thing I want to do is I don't want the entire roof when you're under here looking up to be sandstone. So I'm not going to fill these holes in with sandstone. I'm actually going to get rid of these. And I'm going to... I think what I'm going to do is put upside down half slabs here. Incidentally, when the lamps are 2 blocks above the wheat like this, you don't need the center one. You just need the 4 on the corner. When they're 3 blocks above, you need the center one to get the light level to be high enough to grow wheat efficiently. So I'm going to put upside down half slabs here and around a circle here. And I'm probably going to just end up... See, this is a problem I've been running into a lot with the different builds in the lens, is that there's things coming up with 1.3 that are going to help me a lot. For instance, you can put wiring on the top of upside down half slabs in 1.3, and you cannot in the current patch. And I've been wondering if I shouldn't just wait to do certain things like this, because I've been waiting on the wiring feature of that, and I've been waiting on the different colored stairs and half slabs, but I don't know. I mean, who knows when they're actually going to release that thing, so I'm just going to move forward. But another thing that I do kind of need to figure out is if... because of those same issues, if I should just worry about getting some infrastructure done. So like if I wanted to figure out the shapes of the different farms and other buildings we're going to need. Actually, I didn't put any dirt there. I need to do that. If I should do infrastructure or if I should start finishing off areas I've started. So there's a lot of unfinished stuff in here. None of the wiring has been hidden. There's still all this stuff. And the connections, like how this sandstone stuff comes up and touches the underside of here, hasn't been done. I've been sort of putting off doing that stuff because I wanted to use the darker wood tone, wood half slabs and stairs. And that means I'll have to like replace everything once the patch comes out. So I don't know. I don't have an answer to this question. It's just something I've been thinking about. Should I wait for the patch to do a lot of that finicky detail stuff, because it's just going to have to be redone anyway in the different wood colors. And stuff like this, like you can't put redstone on that right now, but you'll be able to in 1.3, and that'll change the way this stuff gets wired up. I suppose I might as well get rid of all the wiring because it's going to all get reworked anyway. But I decided at least I'm going to finish the farm, and I don't think the wiring should be impacted too much. I mean, I'll have to work around the half slab stuff with some repeaters to you know, push power through blocks and stuff instead of putting redstone on top of on top of the inverted half slabs. But after I finish the farm, I'm not sure if I'm going to start working on the interior of these to make it more consistent and pretty, or if I am going to start working on the larger infrastructure, sort of the shape and look of the rest of the lens. Don't know, haven't decided. Maybe you should leave your opinion in the comments on what you think I should do. I think at the minimum I should probably start to work on the inside of here, getting all the connections finished up, and I guess I could wire up the alchemy room. There's nothing really stopping me from doing that. And let's see, do I want... Let's go ahead and put inverted half slabs underneath all of this too. So, speaking of things that hopefully are changing in the next patch, man, do I hope they fix the stupid lighting glitch of the upside down half slabs. And I'm just gonna hope that they are like addressing this, since they're working on the wiring working on the top of the upside down half slabs. Because man, I can't even tell if I really like the way this looks 100%. When the lighting is so wonky, it gets totally dark as soon as I put the blocks there. I wonder when I turn on the lamps if that will fix it. I hope so. But anyway, this is sort of what I decided to do. Since there's upside down half slabs here, you can walk over these, and I may fill these up to the ceiling with stone slabs and just put like little doorways here for when you need to replant to get through, because a few of the wheat get stuck on here and don't flow with the water, so I may change that. Not sure yet, but that is the way it's gonna... Oh, I missed a spot. Missed the way it's gonna look. Did I miss a spot here too? I did. Ooh. Oh, this is different. Maybe do I want it flush like that? Oh no, not between here. These are between the little cells. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, that's all done. So then I can remove all the dirt and whoa, ledge, and then do the other side. Next thing we need to think about. I laid out all the redstone this way. Next thing we need to do is put in repeaters everywhere the redstone wire runs out of power. And let's see, we need one more thingy there. there. And does this one have one on top? It does. Okay, I think they all have redstone reaching to them except for these guys. Never mind. Not quite, or... yeah, let's do it this way. Like so. Okay. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And you know what? Instead of putting a bunch of repeaters here and then another one there, and let's just put one here so that it powers this whole tree branch here. So that powers all of those all the way over to here. Oh, no, that won't work. Like this. Splat. Okay, sweet. Okay, 2 repeaters for the whole thing. That's good. So they are all powered. Let's go look at what it looks like underneath. Then I'll set up a similar system for the other side, and then we'll work on covering it. Oh, it looks better. It's brighter. Who'd have thought? And turning on those lamps does mostly fix the shadow problems, which is nice. I'm not so sure about this right here. Just about finished up covering up the wiring, and this is all of the sandstone I have left to me. So I was already thinking there's no way I'm going to finish this project in this video. It's just too big of a project. And this totally confirms it, because I'm going to have to go farm some more sandstone before I can build more on this project. So, I covered up almost all the wiring, except for that little thing right there on this side. And yep, you can expect this to get redone in 1.3, because in 1.3 it'll be totally flat. And I'm thinking of putting some water on top or something, but this is ugly and it's way bulkier, and it's gonna... let's run over here real quick. It's gonna cover up the water division thingamajig. Oh gosh, so close to death. It's I don't want it poking up this high above this water getting split right there. So not gonna do it. Not gonna finish it. So I don't know exactly how much I got done in this episode. Not as much as I hoped to. I reworked the torches and I made a trophy thingy, or lamps, not torches. Oh well. Next time, who knows what. Don't even know. Don't even know. Shenanigans. So, just to make up for the incomplete episode, there's going to be a comedy death at the end of this episode. So, hope you enjoyed the video. See you later. Take it easy. Have a good day.